Saying things people already know out loud is tight.
Avada Kedavra.
You park in front of your house, I park in front of my house.
This is truly delightful. Oh, have we started already?
What's up, everyone? It's Adam from FWCI. This is the Ted Lasso Season 2 wrap-up, and Season 3 is on the way sometime in 2023, I believe, and I'll be reacting to those episodes as they come out. My understanding is they come out each week, which is going to be just amazing to be able to do that and follow along with you guys as the new episodes come out. I feel like I've reacted to this at the perfect time. Like, I'm going to be so geared up for Season 3. I can't wait for it. What we're going to do in this wrap-up is, it's really hard to sort of figure out how to do these wrap-ups because I do them for like all the different series and it's just hard to quantify certain things with different genres. And Ted Lasso is a really difficult show to rank moments and stuff like that because it's got so much different variety. It's the funniest of the funny, it's the lowest of the low, it's the highest of the high, it's the sweetest of the sweet. Like, it's such an emotionally diverse kind of show. So what we're going to do in this one, I'm going to talk about my top 5 favorite moments from Season 2, and then I'm going to do my top 5 predictions for Season 3. And I've got a couple of videos to react to that I really hope you guys stick around for because they're Ted Lasso related. I don't want to say what they are because I'm going to kind of lead into them after I talk about one of my predictions for Season 3. So this is going to be a really fun video. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say down in the comments. I always enjoy reading the comments that you guys leave about the Ted Lasso series. It's such a conversation starting kind of show, and I really appreciate that about this show. Ted said in the last episode, I think this is about how we talk about mental health in athletics. I feel like this show is a really good conversation starter, which is, just makes it mean even more than it already does. So let's jump right into the list though. Let's start with my top 5 moments from Ted Lasso Season 2, starting with number 5, Roy on TV.
Glad to have you on the show, Roy.
Whatever.
Same old Roy Kent.
I enjoy his candor.
I would have liked to seen more of this, to be honest. Like, it was a pretty cheesy moment, I guess, when Roy quits on the air and does the whole rom-com run to the stadium to like tell Ted that he wants to be a coach, and I'm fine with that. I like the fact that this show every now and then like delves into the unrealistic to really illustrate a point. But Roy on TV was hilarious. The way he was getting stuck into his co-host was awesome. I liked how I thought it was going to continue on because the public started to like really like him. He gave me vibes of Patrick Beverley when he was on NBA on TNT last off-season or whatever it was.
No one's afraid of Phoenix. We wanted them. No one's afraid of Phoenix. I talked to some teammates. I ain't gonna say who because I'm gonna say who, forget it. I talked to Paul George last night, man. Pat, ain't nobody scared of them.
And I'm not entirely sure, but was that his former coach on there talking about, you want a coach whose brain isn't broken or whatever he said? That like the white guy with the white hair and the white beard and all that? Was that the former Richmond AFC coach? Because I have a feeling he's gonna get like cancelled in the next season. But anyway, predictions will be coming. Moment number 4 is Ted appearing in Sharon's office.
Are you okay?
I want to make an appointment.
And like I said earlier, we're going from this really fun, joyous moment to like an absolutely heartbreaking and heartwarming moment where Ted has his panic attack during the game. He walks away, nobody knows where he is, and then we just find him like curled up on the couch in a therapist's office, whom at the time he was, vehemently against and like very, very defiant against therapy and against her. And it was such a huge change in Ted at that moment. Like, he was clearly just so broken that he went to who he feels is his enemy and said, I need your help. I don't know how to handle this anymore. And I just thought that was a really sweet moment and the start of a really interesting back and forth between Ted and Sharon. And I don't know if we're going to see her in the next series or not. I think she'll pop up for like an episode and have a conversation with Ted or something like that. But that moment really meant a lot to me. I think it was a real growth moment for Ted, which, he's pretty self-assured. We don't get a lot of growth with Ted, and that was like everything kind of coming through at once. Moment number 3 is Keely and Roy's press conference.
The fuck? This is your kink? Me being pathetic?
You're not being pathetic.
This was absolutely insane. They built this up and teased this press conference so much, and when we finally see it, we're also dealing with the fact that Keely was just touching herself while she was watching it, which brings up all sorts of questions. What'd she say, that it was because Roy was being vulnerable and that's what she was kind of into? But I thought this was just hilarious and shocking and just absurd and awesome and heartwarming, and they really did a good job bringing it back later on when Roy wanted to do something special for Keely. So I feel like I officially know too much about their love life at this point. Keely in the press conference was a very much a memorable moment from season 2, and my number 2 moment from Ted Lasso season 2 is Roy hugging Jamie.
Don't turn your back on me, you pussy.
And as you can tell by the little clip, I mean when he hugs him in the locker room after Jamie's dad comes in, and like that whole awkward scene with everything that goes on there, that got me more than Roy genuinely hugging him again, I guess, at the end of the season when they get promoted to the Premier League. Something about this was like, again, a big moment for Roy. He was just on the coaching staff. This is his nemesis. There was that whole storyline building this moment up with Roy didn't want to even coach Jamie, and they dragged that out for like a couple of episodes, I'm pretty sure, from memory. And this little moment here between these two was awesome because it was such a low point for Jamie, just being like publicly disrespected and belittled by your like drunk, skeezy piece of shit father in front of your team, and you've already kind of turned that page of like, I need to like get good things going in my life and good people around me and not do ecstasy for 3 weeks like the woman at the the talent agency said to him. And it all culminated in Jamie just punching him. And you know, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that have had that moment with maybe not a parent, but like a sibling or just somebody that is just in your face and not leaving you the fuck alone to the point where you just snap. And I really felt for Jamie in that moment. That's probably the most I've been really hurt on his behalf, I guess. Is that a good way to say it? Like that moment really got me. So that's why it's the number 2 moment. But number 1 moment from season 2, in case you didn't already know, it's Nate joining West Ham.
I'm making my own rules. I'm a bad man. Give it bad.
Good Lord, this is an absolute spectacle. I love this story, the humble beginning of Nate, the little seeds of like, the clues, I guess, that they dropped throughout the first season, that his anger and his inspiration and his, belief in himself have this weird imbalance. Like he's either very kind of submissive or he just takes it completely over the line and becomes like a kind of a tyrant in a way. Like the way he's talked to Will throughout this series, and the way he now talks to the players. Like, what was it? Danny Rojas killed a dog and Nate's like, maybe we should show him his fucking paycheck in the first episode, which, by the way, one of the first things you see in I'm trying to remember now if it was the final episode. Yeah, it is the final episode, is a line about a shake-up of management at West Ham, which we later find out is Rupert and Nate in the end. But the big reveal that Rupert now has another team, I should have seen it coming. I guess they kind of led us away from that possibility with him. Oh yeah, here's my shares, and we're having a baby, and I just don't have time for footy anymore. And all of that was bullshit. Rupert was he's been planning this ever since Ted beat him in a game of darts. That's when this whole plan went into action, in my opinion. And Rupert he's an absolute prick. He is just a disrespectful, hurtful, nasty, entitled man, like, he has never been told no in his life, and he is just this absolute scumbag, and he's trying to make Rebecca's life hell. And I don't know, there was some people in the comments trying to just justify Rupert's actions, saying, oh, well, you don't know what's going on with Rupert. You need to be, you need to be curious and not judgmental or whatever. We don't know anything else about Rupert right now, and if they have an episode that says, oh, this is why Rupert is the way he is, don't you feel sorry for him? I don't know how that episode will go down, because I don't think that's what the people want to see. We want a villain that we can, you know, root against, and Rupert is a great villain. His acquisition of Nate as the coach sounds insane. Somebody in the comments said that Nate getting the white hair was actually a reference to a real life guy called Jose Maurinho? Maurinho? I don't know how to say the guy's name, but I'm very curious about this, and I found a video of some video clips of this guy, and I watched the first 3 seconds of it before I stopped it and said, we're going to react to this on the season wrap-up. So after I do my predictions for season 3 on this video, I'm going to be watching the best Jose Mourinho moments on YouTube, which just from the start of it, I'm already way on board with this, and I think it's going to make me even more excited to see what happens with Nate in season 3. I'm so giddy just at the possibility of watching this. And then I found, wow, I did high voice just then. And then there's another video called Jose Mourinho Explains Soccer to Ted Lasso, and it looks like a legitimate video that they've made. I don't know where this came from, but we're going to have a look at that at the end as well. So make sure you stick around after the predictions. But just to recap, top 5 moments: Roy on TV, Ted appearing in Sharon's office, Keely and Roy in the press conference, Roy hugging Jamie after Jamie's dad had his little moment, and number 1 is Nate the Ingrate, joining West Ham. Let's go!
You made me feel like I was the most important person in the whole world.
So these are now my, I'm just going to say my 5 predictions for season 3. These are in no particular order because some of them are kind of realistic, some of them are a little bit out there, but this is what I hope to see or expect to see in season 3 of Ted Lasso. Let me know in the comments what your predictions are for season 3. Let me know what you think about my predictions. Do you think I'm onto anything? Some of these are layups, some of them you'll see. We're going to get pretty far out there. My first prediction is that Nate will lead West Ham to victory over Richmond. They will crush them in whatever the deciding game is at the end of this season. I don't think it's going to be to relegate Richmond. I feel like that would then drag the season out a little bit long. At this point, I'm thinking maybe a 3 or 4 season series. I feel like there's just so much story to tell with Nate going to West Ham now, and I don't want them to rush through that. So I predict at the end of the season, West Ham is going to be united and victorious over whatever the other one is, Richmond. My second prediction is that we'll get a bottle episode of some kind. I think it might be Ted going back to Kansas for an episode to see his wife and son. He's gonna have to go back eventually. He's been over here for like 2 seasons at this point. Are you gonna go home, Ted? I think it's time to see Ted go back and see how he's changed and how he's grown in his time back in the States, back in the UK. I'm sure that maybe they're gonna tease that Ted doesn't want to stay in the UK and he wants to go back home, but he'll come back. So I hope they don't waste too much time on that, or I hope they tell that story in a really convincing way where we, for some reason, do believe that Ted is not going back to coach at AFC Richmond. But if we don't get an episode like that, I'd like to see one of Ted and Beard coaching back in the day, back in Kansas, like just before, he got hired to do this. I think that would be a really interesting time to get a glimpse into, or even something with however Beard and Ted met, because it sounds like they've known each other for a long time. I don't know, an episode with a couple of kids, maybe a flashback sequence with Beard and Ted talking. I'd like to see that, but I'm sure we're going to get some sort of bottle episode that's going to give a bit more insight into Ted Lasso's backstory. Prediction number 3, Keely will end up with Jamie by the end of season 3. I think that's where we're going. We've already introduced the school teacher that Roy seems to be forming this sort of bond with. I wonder if Phoebe is going to start to really bond with the school teacher, and that's going to be a factor in it as well. Keely and Jamie, there's still something there. And I'm so glad that they haven't made it too obvious. Like, they've laid the foundation and they've planted the seeds for this story, but it's not like Keely is just like looking out the window longingly and they're being really kind of like hammy about this whole thing. I think there's still something between them, and I think we'll see it come back into their lives in season 3. Let me know what you think. Keely and Jamie, or are you team Keely and Roy? Oh god, what am I going to start in the comments this time? Prediction number 4, Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney will appear in the show as themselves. I think this was a prediction for season 2 from most people as well. For those that don't know, Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney own Wrexham FC, I believe is the club they own. So they seem to actually be legitimately involved in English soccer. I don't know if it's Premier League team or whether it's like Division 1 or whatever, but I hope we get to see them as themselves interact with Ted, or I'd love to see them interact with like the team. I'd love to, oh my god, I'd love to see them change a prediction. Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney are going to try and scout a bunch of players from Richmond, and it's going to be amazing. I'm keen for that. Now, the more I think about it, the more I'm on board. Prediction number 5, we find out... okay. Alright, this is where we're getting out there into some interesting territory, okay? Prediction number 5, we find out that Nate was a bully and an egomaniac as a child, and the reason that his dad has been so stifling and mean to him his whole life is because Nate's dad has seen Nate and his ego just blow up into this violent, vile, unhealthy degree. I want to see flashbacks of Nate as a child, as a football prodigy. I want to see him like just destroying everybody and being real arrogant about it, getting in people's faces. You can't play. Like think of Michael Jordan in The Last Dance, but times 1,000. Like really, like to the point where he's told, hey, you're not allowed to play anymore. Like you're too unsportsmanlike. This is way too over the top, Nathan. You need to stop. And they could take it far. I mean, what if he like, you know, causes somebody to, you know, go into a deep depression or something like that? What if there's somebody he victimizes and shit? Like, I feel like Nate has so much potential, and at the moment, Nate's dad is the asshole. Everybody's looking at Nate's dad and saying, well, he's a terrible father because he's not, you know, celebrating and embracing his son, which is the story that this show has told up to this point. And I said the exact same things about Nate's dad. He does not seem like the most supportive dad. But what if, what if there's a reason for that and he's actually the one trying to protect us all from the absolute madness of Nate Shelley unhinged with all this support and confidence and ego just flowing through his brain? I want to see that side of Nate, and I want him to be portrayed. I want Rupert to be like, all right, Nate, let's take it easy, mate. We don't want to, you know, we don't want to do that. That's too far. That's being too mean. That's being too cruel. I want to see Rupert being the voice of reason to bring Nate back from the line. I'm all on board for Nate to just be the worst of the worst in the next season. And you need a bad guy. You need a bad guy to root against. And the better the bad guy, the better the payoff is at the end. You guys probably know I'm a huge pro wrestling fan, and that is Pro Wrestling 101. You need a really strong bad guy, and you need a really underdog good guy, and that is the, you know, the ingredients for a fantastic story of good versus evil. Nate and Rupert need to just go all out on this. I want to see them like doing every bad guy tactic you could possibly do. So I feel like I've rambled about this for long enough. And I got one more prediction for you as well. This one's kind of a joke one. I think Ted Lasso is going to inspire Richmond FC by singing a rendition of Young Chuck Norris in the locker room. For those that don't know, that's Jason Sudeikis from SNL singing that song, which I absolutely love. I honestly listen to that song like every couple of weeks. I'll just chuck it on and crank it and sing along because it's a really, actually, legitimately good song. So I'd be down to see that in season 3.
Let's turn back time to younger days.
But with all that Nate talk out of our system, let's get into these Jose Mourinho moments. You can see why I wanted to wait until the end to watch these, because I've been dying to get that theory out there because I just love it so much. I just can't wait to see Nate do the worst things he can possibly do. Let's see what the real life Nate is all about, because I have no knowledge of this guy. I've never heard of him before, but I had a quick look at his Wikipedia. I was wondering if there was going to be like a specific like incident that he's like known for, but there was nothing in particular. He just seems to be very successful at what he does. So let's see what Jose Mourinho is all about. Yeah, this is what I watched, the first 10 seconds of this. He's giving someone a banana? Is that him like saying like eat a dick? Is that what he's trying to get across there? And I saw this little clip here with these arrogant fucking handshakes. I love it. Oh, they're the leagues as well, Jesus. Oh, squirting the camera, that's his thing, is it?
Who's won it well here for Marouane Fellaini! And there's Gordon.
I'm loving this already.
In, and Roma have got their goal.
What was the result? 3-0. Also mean 3 premierships, and I won more premierships alone than the other 19 managers together. 3 for me and 2 for them. Respect, 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 man. Respect, respect.
Everything, guys.
Wow, okay, by everything I'm watching here, I'm just picturing Nate the Great doing, and I feel like watching this is going to end up being a valuable exercise, because I hope we get a lot of references to this in Season 3.
Games, everything I do is mind games.
He's on the touchline, remain cordial. Perhaps a bit of sarcasm behind the smile. There's been plenty of that this week. Kevin Friend is having a word in Mourinho's ear. Rightly, I must say.
Why did he grab the ball?
So they're happy. But then his assistant starts winding him up about the yellow card. It should be a yellow card. And now look at Jose. This is awesome. This is brilliant.
What? What the hang on. Hang on. So he comes and sits down and he's laughing.
But then his assistant starts winding him up about the yellow card. It should be a yellow card. And now look at Jose. This is awesome. This is brilliant.
Yeah, what the fuck? This guy backing off. What the hell? So he's all about mind games and flash and like distraction. Like he's obviously has good strategy as well. But damn, man.
What's that phrase? Win at all costs.
What the fuck was that? Yeah, so Nate's the Wunderkid. Oh, what's he gonna be calling himself now? And this guy's a special one. Alright.
Pinching the ear of somebody there, Jose Mourinho, the opposing.
Oh! Hang on, he got that guy in the eye? Dude! Why is Borat there, by the way? By the way, whoever edited this put far too much effort into this video. I appreciate the effort, but god damn, man. Is that tampering? Oh, you're allowed to do that, man.
Let's maybe keep the overt tampering to a minimum. Okay then.
What was the most problematic player you ever had to deal with?
Mario. I remember one we went to Kazan in the Champions League. In that match, I had all my strikers injured. I was really in trouble, and Mario was the only one. Mario gets a yellow card in minute 42, 43. So when I go to the dressing room at halftime, I spend 14 minutes of the 15 picking only for Mario. Mario, I cannot change you. I don't have a striker on the bench. Don't touch anybody. Play only with the ball. If somebody provocates you, no reaction. If the referee makes a mistake, no reaction.
What did you do, Mario?
Minute
What have you done? What did you do? 46 minutes in. Oh, Mario, you are in deep shit.
Oh, he is a specialist in failure. I'm not.
A specialist in failure? Wow, man. I hope we see Nate do the knee slide. Damn, this guy has managed, like, the best of the best clubs, eh? Like, Barcelona, he's got Ronaldo on his team, he's coaching Man U. I'm guessing Chelsea wasn't completely shit.
After the sending off when Jose Mourinho had a word in Pep Guardiola's shell-like.
We deserve to lose. Maybe they don't deserve to win, but for sure we deserve to lose.
You made the right choices across the team?
I made 11 mistakes.
11, all right.
He sent him off. Mourinho bemused. Pepe disbelieved.
Some breaking news, Jose Mourinho has now been sacked by Chelsea.
Manchester United have sacked Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho was sacked by Spurs.
United has a future, and without me, it happened yesterday.
Why is he getting fired from everywhere? I thought he was a special one. That was actually really interesting. I hope we see a lot of Easter eggs to that that video there. I'll probably edit some of that out because some of it I didn't quite understand. I didn't know who the teams were. I didn't know what was going on. So I'll try and keep that down to the good bits. But very, very interesting to consider that this is a blueprint for what we might see Nate's character, you know, kind of embody, I guess, in the next season. But let's have a look at this other one. It goes for 2.5 minutes. Jose Maurinho, I still can't remember how to say it, explains soccer to a baffled Ted Lasso. That's the name of this video. So let's see what's going on. I wonder if he filmed this between being fired by one amazing, like, you know, world-class club and being hired by another world-class club, because seems to be his thing. So must have been some downtime. What do you got for me, Jose? You watching the game, bud? Insane field goal shot from downtown. Coach Mourinho, you there, buddy?
Hello? Say, hey, Coach Mourinho. It's Ted Lasso from over here with the Richmond Greyhounds. Now, I'm just sitting here watching the final of the Cup of Champions, or what's it called here? The Champions League. And, well, Coach, I got a buttload of questions for you, my man.
Sorry, who is this?
The name's Ted Lasso. And as I said in those voicemails I left you yesterday morning and the few I left you the evening before and the numerous emails I sent you over the weekend.
How did you get this number, Ted?
Coaching gig right here in the United Magical Kingdom, and I wouldn't mind getting a little mentoring from you. Let's just say this Karate Kid is looking for his own Mr. Miyagi.
Dad, now is not a good time.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Subtitles.
Tired, Coach? You sleeping okay these days? You know, I was losing a little sleep as of late. Went out and got myself one of them sleep apnea masks. Didn't work out too well for me, though, you know. I think it might have gone better if I had the machine you're supposed to connect it to, though, you know?
He's not impressed.
What do you want, Dad?
Well, Coach, as I said, I just sat down to watch the Cup of Champions finale, and, well, I realized I don't know jack squat about this game, whereas you...
8 league titles, 2 Champions League,
wow.
Europa League, UEFA Cup.
I'll be darned.
4 League Cups in England, FA Cup, Coppa Italia.
He's making these up now.
Super Cup, Coppa del Rey.
It's FA, not Africa Cup, I think. Jesus.
Okay, well, here's my first question for you. All these countries, they play the same type of football? You know, because British football is a heck of a lot different than the football we got in the United States of America.
There are similarities and there are differences, Dad.
Go on.
British football is about pace and power.
I like that.
Italy is defense focused. They are the masters of the catenaccio system.
I love that word.
Ted, I have to go. The second half is starting.
Oh, shoot, did I miss the halftime show? Gosh dang it, who'd they have? What was it, Bruno Mars, Coldplay? What was the entertainment?
Ted, I'm hanging up now.
All right now, Coach. Hey, I'll check in with you later, all right now?
That was a bit of a trip. I'm glad I watched that as well, but oh man, is this guy gonna appear in the next season? That would be, I don't know, maybe a bit too much. I hope you guys enjoyed that one as well. I hope you enjoyed my wrap-up of Season 2. I mean, there was so many, you know, incredible moments throughout this season. Like, a lot of people weren't a fan of the Christmas episode. I kind of liked it. The Beard episode, I think, was probably my least favorite of the season. It was very, very strange. It was a very different, it was like a whole different world, like a whole different tone. Like, Beard lives in a different, like, universe to Ted, it almost feels like. But let me know in the comments what your favorite moments are. If there's any other Ted Lasso stuff, I think there's like an honest trailer. I was gonna do the honest trailer on this video, but I feel like it's already gone quite a while anyway, because I took 15 minutes to talk about how I want Nate to become the world's worst person in this show. So I'll do that reaction in a different video. Make sure you guys check that one out. Subscribe if you haven't already. Schitt's Creek is coming. Brooklyn Nine-Nine's still doing its thing. I'm reacting to Disney's Up, or Pixar, or whoever made that one. That's coming out this week as well. Heaps of other stuff on the channel. Don't forget to leave a super thanks if you want to support the channel a little bit further. And as always, everyone,